From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, February 3rd. There is a winter weather advisory in place for the southern part of Indiana. This is going to be through this evening, so especially there, you might have scattered snow showers. Around here in Indianapolis, it's going to be light, less than an inch, really not going to be nearly as cold as we have been either, but the low around 11 degrees, high today around 30. That snow shouldn't be too bad, but it could cause some slick spots, especially in the southern portion of the state.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
The suspect in the death of a teenager from Fishers is set to be back in court next week. Online records show Tyler Thomas remains in jail in Franklin County, Ohio. His lawyer confirmed police found Hailey Buzbee's remains on Sunday. News 8's Garrett Berquist explains where the case stands now.
The discovery brings to a heartbreaking end the search for Hailey Buzbee. Now authorities must piece together what happened. During an initial court appearance Monday morning, prosecutors said investigators seized several electronic devices from Tyler Thomas. They say they found digital devices containing child sex abuse material of Hailey. Thomas is being held on a $1.5 million bond. He faces one count each of pandering sexually oriented matter involving a minor and tampering with evidence. He does not face any charges directly related to Hailey's death. His lawyers tell me Thomas led authorities to Hailey's remains in Perry County on Sunday. Columbus police tell me Hailey was at Thomas's home in Columbus sometime after she left Fishers on January 6th. They say investigators believe Hailey was killed at a short-term rental in Hocking County, southeast of Columbus. Thomas is currently in the Franklin County Jail. Investigators expect additional charges from Hocking County. Thomas's next court appearance is on February 10th. Funeral arrangements for Hailey have not yet been made public. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The city of Fishers has created a tribute for Hailey Buzbee. The city says Hailey's former art teacher at Fall Creek Junior High created it in honor of Hailey. There's also a blank canvas across from the tribute where you can leave messages of support for her family. The tribute and canvas are on display now at Fishers City Hall. Young people who knew Hailey could be experiencing shock right now. News 8 spoke with a leader at Brooks Place, which provides support for young people experiencing grief. Carol Braden says most teenagers process grief differently than adults do. She says it's best that parents and loved ones give them space that they need.
A teen grieving, it's very natural for them developmentally to need to be closer to their peers. The desire to be with your peers more is very, very natural. It's natural for them to want to get together and share all their stories, together about Hailey, and maybe they watch 5 funny movies afterwards. I mean, that's just natural.
Braden also says young people will grieve within their own personalities and they might also isolate themselves. She says it's important to get them help to not feel alone. Police in Indianapolis are looking for the driver of a vehicle that struck and killed a man on the city's east side. IMPD says it happened just before 9 last night on North Shadeland Avenue near 34th Street. Police say the man died at the scene and the driver took off. Investigators did not give a description of the vehicle involved. Some people who live in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood sent a message directly to the company trying to build a data center there. News 8's Kat Sandoval went to the community meeting.
LA-based Metro Blocks, who is trying to build this data center in Martindale-Brightwood, was met with an angry crowd.
No data center here! No data center here!
Everyone who raised their hands opposed bringing the $500 million data center to the neighborhood.
Well, honestly, they have not said anything that has changed the way that I feel specifically, or it seems like the community feels. between Q&A and their presentation, they really haven't presented us with any new information, and so we are still not satisfied with what they have presented us, and we don't want the development here.
The proposed data center will sit on a 13.5-acre lot on Sherman Drive near 25th Street. Councilmember Ron Gibson, who represents the area, showed up earlier in the meeting. He is pushing for the development because he says the land has been vacant for 40 years. He tells me the majority of the people in attendance aren't residents, but the people here disagree. Neighbors worry about the environmental concerns. Others said they felt like they weren't heard. Vietnam veteran Selvi Burris says he owns several properties in the area, mostly residential, and he's worried about the impact on his family.
Everything we have tried to do, we get stepped on, kicked back. And that, I don't think is right.
There are 35 data centers located in Marion County. Metroblock says they don't have a tenant yet, so the area could be a data center or an AI data center. Metroblock's attorney, who seems somewhat flustered, says they did their best to address concerns.
For us, it's refreshing in the sense to see people so passionate about their neighborhood and where they're living. And for us, it was about, we do want to continue to hear. And although, some people out there may think, hey, we're not trying, my client, not me, but my client doesn't want to be a good steward, we would argue we are. We want to hear things from the community. We want to stay in touch. We want to try to understand the concerns and try to abate those the best that we possibly can to make sure that it's a harmonious relationship if this were to move forward.
What's next is for the proposal to be heard by the Metropolitan Development Commission, and that's going to be February 12th. Reporting in Martindale, Brightwood, I'm Kat Sandoval, Wish TV, wishtv.com.
Town of Speedway is still under a boil water advisory due to 3 water main breaks. The latest update from the town came yesterday afternoon, saying the affected areas have been isolated and repairs are underway. Town says until the advisory is lifted, though, people who get their water from Speedway should boil tap water for at least 1 minute, use bottled water if possible, and throw out any ice made with tap water. Town says the water is safe for bathing and cleaning. Pat Knight is out as Marion University's head basketball coach. He tells us that he quit because the school wanted him to fire one of his staff members and that he disagreed with that directive and chose to resign. Knight is the son of legendary Indiana basketball head coach Bob Knight and was ejected from Saturday's game and was supposed to be suspended from Marion's game tomorrow. The school released a statement after Saturday's game saying Pat is suspended from Wednesday's home game against Mount Vernon Nazarene stemming from his ejection this Saturday and the team's loss against Goshen. A university statement addressing Coach Knight will be issued in the coming days. Today is the first full day on the job for the new police chief in Indianapolis. Mayor Joe Hogsett swore in Tanya Terry as the new leader of IMPD yesterday. In her first remarks as chief, Terry says she wants the department to build trust with the community through transparency and accountability.
When people understand our work and our purpose, when they know they are being heard, it strengthens shared responsibility. That trust is what allows us to protect and serve effectively and build a safer Indianapolis for all.
Chief Terry takes over for Chris Bailey, who is now the mayor's chief of staff. In Lafayette, the first hybrid vehicle produced by Subaru in the U.S. has rolled off the assembly line. Subaru launched production of its Subaru Forester back in October. All models are sold and built at Subaru's plant in Lafayette. Company says the 2026 Subaru Forester is now available. You can read more about it on wishtv.com in the As Seen On section. In Washington, House Speaker Mike Johnson is trying to hold his narrow majority together to pass a funding bill to end a partial government shutdown. Some conservative lawmakers say they will not vote for the measure the Senate passed last week. It separates funding for the Department of Homeland Security from the spending package that includes 5 other agencies. President Trump is pressing Republicans to agree to the deal he struck with Senate Democrats to fund Homeland Security at current levels for 2 weeks. That will allow more negotiations on reforms to immigration enforcement that Democrats are demanding.
But this is a funding package right now, and I don't think we need to be playing games with government funding. We still have winter storms, we got FEMA and TSA and troop pay and everything else wrapped into this, so we've got to get the job done.
The House is set to hold a procedural vote on the measure later today. In Tucson, Arizona, detectives now say the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie may have been abducted from her home. Police say Nancy Guthrie disappeared over the weekend. Sherelle Hubbard reports on what investigators know so far.
It is suggestive of an abduction.
Police in Arizona making a bold claim Monday. They say Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is no accident. It's a crime.
I want to stress to you, and it is really important, Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind. This is not a dementia related. She is as sharp as a tack.
Guthrie was last seen in her Tucson, Arizona home on Saturday night. When Guthrie did not show up to church Sunday morning, a church member called her family.
At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, hey, your mom's not here. The family went to the house.
Investigators say that it does not appear that she left the home on her own, and they found her cell phone. Police say they also found evidence that suggests a crime had been committed and saw things at the home that were, quote, concerning.
There were circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature, I think is the best way to put it.
They would not say what that evidence is, although they did say they don't have any indication that the public is in danger. Police say they are canvassing the area and are looking for security camera footage to help with the investigation. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are set to testify in a House investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It comes as Republican leaders continue to push for criminal contempt of Congress charges against the Clintons. Both Clintons had resisted to testify for months after the House Oversight Panel issued subpoenas for their testimonies. Late, though, yesterday, the Clintons' attorney emailed the panel staff saying the pair will appear for depositions on mutually agreeable dates. The attorneys also asked that the representative, James Comer, the chair of the House Oversight Committee, not move forward with contempt proceedings. Comer says he is not immediately dropping the charges and that he also says an agreement has not been finalized yet. The funeral for Sidney Eskenazi is set for this week. His family says he died at home on Saturday. Sidney and his wife, Lois, were the benefactors of Eskenazi Hospital. She died earlier this month. The two helped fund Eskenazi Hospital and supported arts and education in Indiana. Services for Sidney Eskenazi start at 11 in the morning on Thursday at the Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation on North Meridian Street. The burial will follow at Etz Chaim Cemetery. Sidney Eskenazi was 95 years old. The Pacers are back home to take on the Utah Jazz tonight. The team fell to the Rockets at Gainbridge Fieldhouse last night, one day after being named an All-Star. Pascal Siakam had 27 points, but the Rockets rallied, beat the Pacers 118-114. Pacers tip off tonight, 7 o'clock. Some Indiana families are benefiting from the Pacers games this week. The Pacers Foundation's Drive and Dish program is teaming up with several organizations to deliver eggs to people in need. Officials say for every three-pointer the Pacers make at home for the rest of the season, partners will donate 3 cases of eggs, 540 eggs total. It started with last night's game against the Houston Rockets. Pacers made 12 threes in that game. They say the goal of the initiative is to provide nearly 9,000 cartons of a dozen eggs to families across the state. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.